All right. Rhino. Where does Rhino go? Here. New plan. I hold Rhino. I hold Rhino and paint Rhino. Wait, I need my phone. Got it. Okay. How do I even start this? Start by painting. This guy, me, my shirt. I ended my 7-year relationship. That's it. It's over. It's done with. But I wanted to talk about, it sounded really cold. I wanted to talk about how it happened and how it ended and just the difficulties of ending a relationship. Because I give a lot of advice on my stream about things that I probably shouldn't give advice about. Well, one of the things is being dumped. Because I know how painful that can be. But when someone leaves you, often you don't have control over fixing the relationship. They're done, they're out. Maybe it wasn't even you, like actually not even you. But when you have to be the person who leaves, it's actually a whole new skill set. So anyways, I'm gonna talk about how the relationship started, and I guess some signs that I saw, then some of the normal things that come up. So I basically started researching. First I looked up the normal stages you go through after a breakup. And I realized everything that was coming up was really more applicable for people who've been left. So instead I started looking up the stages that people typically feel after leaving someone. And they are kind of different, so I'll talk about that too. Anyway, so how I got into my 7-year relationship in the first place was I was in a really abusive relationship, but I actually never thought that I would leave that one. Where do I want more highlights? Maybe on his feet. If only I had had the foresight to have a stand here or here. Okay. So my partner was actually my StarCraft practice partner. I was a professional Zerg player and they were also a professional StarCraft player. And they lived in California. So I was in this abusive relationship and I needed to get out. But I didn't even realize at first that I could even get out. So at first I went to California just so that I could be away from the physical aspect of that. And then eventually one day while I was streaming, so I'd go to California to escape that, but one day while I was in Canada, while I was streaming, my partner at the time, he threatened to kill me. So I left, and then I flew out my 7-year partner before I was with him. I flew him out to Canada so that I would be safe. Because when I actually left, after my then partner said he was going to kill me, I ran downstairs to my car and he tried to stop me from getting into my car. Yikes. So I flew out my 7-year partner and then we started dating. And this is where leaving someone can be so hard, because I swear in every relationship I've been in, I've thought that this person is the best person I've ever been with. I've never been with anyone this great. Surely I'll never be with anyone this great again. And to have that mindset change is so odd. It's almost like I can't trust my own brain, I can't trust myself. But that was one thing that I kept thinking back to. So when we first got together, I thought, you know, if I ever left him, well, I would never find anything like that again. But things, I don't know, things didn't really work out ever. And I didn't really have the experience. Actually, that's kind of cool. Dope. I didn't have the experience to know why things weren't going wrong or right, and I was basically told that I was the problem. I was the sole problem. I was the reason why the relationship wasn't working out. My 7-year partner in their last relationship, they never fought ever, but now in this relationship with me, we fought and things didn't work out. And then after I went on break from med school, I started learning about things. Well, first I learned that I actually had PTSD. And then I started learning about different triggers for PTSD. And I learned that my partner did, or contributed to that a lot. He did a lot of things. But there was no fix. It didn't stop. Again, it was kind of my fault that those things bothered me. And when he was upset by something, I couldn't even bring myself to help him because I was so triggered and bothered. So clearly neither of us were getting our needs met. And I started telling people around us this. I started telling friends of mine. I kind of tried to tell his family. I tried to tell his family about how he doesn't like help me out much because I was paying for rent and all of our food and clothes and even more than that. In fact, I think I paid for his plane a few times for us to go see his family in California. And the response I got from his family was that because I wanted him to cook for us, was that I was treating him like a slave. And I saw that I had no help there. When I told my friends about what was happening, they told me that my partner was just a little aloof and that it was something that I should deal with. And these are people who were friends with both of us, but primarily with me. Like, they were my friends and they're telling me this. So I really had no support. And this is where the difference between being left and leaving someone just rears its head, because I knew something was wrong for years, but I had to make the decision myself to end it. And then this becomes even more difficult when the person you're with is so resistant to being left. I remember after I left him, I came back home because I was in Montreal at the time, and I came back home and he wouldn't get out of my bed. So remember, like, I own everything in my apartment. It's my apartment. I pay for everything, and I'd broken up with him, and he wouldn't leave. He wouldn't get out of my bed. In fact, he called one of his friends that I knew as well through him that would go to my stream, and his friend was calling me cruel and saying that was unusually cruel for me to ask him to not sleep in my bed after we were broken up. Yeah, like, the difference between being left and leaving someone, you would think it's in the amount of support, because when someone leaves you, you feel very alone in the world. You feel like there's no one to help you. You might even have friends helping you or family members helping you. Can't relate. But you don't feel like you have support. And then for me, leaving someone made me feel the same but different, but so similar. Man, I had no support. And I had to leave it up to myself to stick to leaving someone when I knew neither of us were happy. And it was so not easy. Everyone was against me for it. My mom was against it. Like I just said, mutual friends were against it. So the takeaway is that just like when someone leaves you and it takes a while for things to get better, when you leave someone, things will also eventually get better. Eventually. So I'm going to look at some of the things that I wrote down about the normal stages for leaving someone. So I definitely felt the first thing, which was feeling really invalidated, and not respected, and not valued. So if you feel those things while you're with someone, run? Okay, maybe not run, maybe talk to them first, but like that's actually a really good signal that you're not happy. And people might tell you that you're wrong. Your partner might tell you that you're wrong. But if you talk to them and they tell you that you're wrong about your feelings, that's a really, really bad sign. And then on top of that, if nothing changes, then you're never gonna feel better. It doesn't just magically get better. I tried for years. It doesn't. You don't just learn how to deal with them better, because your needs aren't being met. And even if you can learn how to better meet your needs, what is the point of having a partner who doesn't care about your needs and doesn't care to help you get there? You may as well, I don't know, man, you may as well be dating a fucking rock. So the second step for like the process through leaving people is that people go through is anxiety towards the breakup and all the complications it can cause. So that was definitely my next worry. When I knew that I had to break up with my ex, I couldn't stop going over all of the changes that would happen. And man, it really made me feel bad for people who go through divorces, because that really, really, really complicates it. It's worth it. It really is worth it to leave someone that you don't love, and who isn't providing like basic things in a relationship or what you need in a relationship. But fuck, there's so much to it. And I think that was one reason why I put off committing to breaking off for so long, because it was such an endeavor. Yeah, there's just a lot. And I have a ferret, and so my ferret was both, like, he's my ferret, but he kind of was both of ours, even though I bought him and he was my ferret. So I think about how sad my ex would be if we broke up and then he didn't get to see my ferret as often. Things like that really, really pull on my heartstrings and break my heart. So that kind of slowed that process down a little bit. I would say that might have slowed it down the most, actually. And then this stage I didn't feel. So stage 3 is a stage of relief and excitement just from being unshackled from them. Well, maybe I did feel that, actually. I guess I did. I just didn't notice it. It was more, I think, so because I have PTSD, sometimes when something feels good, it's more of a lack of bad. So like the excitement part, I don't know if I was jumping for joy, but God, okay, now I get what it's saying. God, it's so good to not be in those constant power struggles every single day. Like to be begging someone to treat you a certain way, to be begging them to stop provoking your panic attacks. Oh my God. Okay, so that's step 3, can relate. Step 4 was, after you calm down, it's usually a mix of wanting to do things, but also being sad about how they're gone and how bad they were to you, so you kind of flip-flop between everything. I was kind of in a weird situation because my ex only just left, so we were broken up for a while, and he only just left, so maybe he'll go through that. But they say that step 5 is the hardest, and it's when you wonder if they learned anything from you leaving, or if they think of you, or if you had an impact on them. So for me, when I did try to leave my partner in the past, I would say that these thoughts dominated my mind. This time though, I couldn't focus on anything else. I just knew I had to leave them. Like I knew that it had to be over. I had to commit to it and follow through with it. And I couldn't go back on it. Because every other time in the past, they would ask me not to. And usually when someone, I mean, when you're faced with having to make this decision, that it's difficult every single step of the way, or you could just do nothing and stay in the same situation and then stream on time the next day, and not have to deal, with like any of those emotions. It's really hard to stick on this path where you're just having shit flung at you like every other fucking second. And you're just like literally walking over pieces of Legos every other foot. It's so hard to commit to that. But this time I knew I had to commit to that, so I really didn't care about what was going through their mind in terms of like if I had a lasting effect on them. I was just, no. Can relate in the past, but not this time. But I can see, that did keep me stuck in the past, so I see how that's the most difficult stage. And then it talks about how there's that vicious cycle. You go back to having an on and off relationship over and over and over again. Whereas if you instead Google, damn, what happened to my rhino? If you instead Google about, dude, I should do his rib cage, that'd be so sick. If you instead, Google about how, I'm gonna get through it this time, to survive being left in a relationship, the steps are really more about how you talk to people and try and convince them that they shouldn't have left you, because it feels like if you could just convince everyone around you they shouldn't have left you, maybe magically the person who left you will understand that they should come back to you. I've definitely been in that situation before. Like you go through different feelings, but like I said, you feel alone either way. It's so bizarre. And I was so not prepared for everyone to make me out to be the bad guy for leaving someone who I had every right to leave. Even my mom was upset at me for leaving this person. And I told her that originally what I said to her was that I didn't love him anymore. And she told me, well, you know, he cooks and cleans and he's docile. And I couldn't believe that's what she was saying. I kind of could because I like history so much, I have learned about how like being with someone for love is actually a really new concept. It came about in the Renaissance, whatever. So, okay, I'm not even gonna cut that. I'm gonna leave that in. But yeah, they came about in the Renaissance. So before then, people really didn't marry for love. In fact, Jane Austen, which is even later than that, she was kind of radical in suggesting, again, that people marry and be with each other for love, as opposed to family gain and, I don't know, to like join your two farms together and then you have more goats. So I know some people, they're kind of resigned to being with someone because their life paths are similar, and it's easier for both of them if they combine their households or their skills together. But I don't know, I'm an emotion junkie, I guess. I don't know, I find that feeling love is so important, and it's so much more important than anything material. I can't see myself living my life and not feeling everything that I can out of it. I can't imagine being on my deathbed and thinking back to how I didn't fully live my life. You know, not that I do like everything that I want to do every single day, you know. Dude, I only have so much energy. Fucking like getting out of bed uses up all of my energy some days. But I knew that it could be better, even though originally I thought that was the best I ever had and I would never have better. I knew that it could be better emotionally, and I couldn't put blinders on. So I had to get out of it. Even though it was one of my least like abusive relationships. But it's like I don't care if someone can cook and clean if I don't love them. And also if they're triggering my PTSD symptoms, that's pretty bad. But if I don't love them, I don't want to be with them. So the good news is, again, you can get past it if you want to leave someone. It's not easy. It's really not easy to leave people. I don't know how people do it all the time. I really don't, because I've been left so many times. And I don't know how people come to those decisions. I guess they just really love themselves. I don't know, just raised right. But yeah, it is doable, and I think it's also one of those things that gets easier with time. Because you learn to value yourself more and your own needs more. And you kind of learn the motions and how to go through it and what to expect. Now that I know people will actually hate you for leaving someone that you should leave, it means that I will be prepared for that in the future, and I probably won't be as bothered by it. Whereas this time, I was very surprised Pikachu, just like, no wait, that's too surprised. What, like, I don't know, something like that. Surprise ferret. Actually, oh, should I grab ferret? Okay, here, I'll go get ferret. Here's my rhino. I think the ribcage could look really good, I do. And then some yellow highlights on those bones, like on its femur. Okay, one sec, I'll get ferret and ferret will close this out, okay? Okay, ow, God. Oh my God, why was I sitting like that for 20 minutes? I painted something. Yeah. I painted it. Oh, hi. Oh. I just see ferret and I'm like, oh, ferret. Hi. You're so sweet. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here more than ever, because you guys are the ones who didn't hate me for the breakup, unless you secretly do. Well, you're like my safe place, so thank you, thank you. You wanna say bye, ferret? Can I have your arm for a second, ferret? Goodbye. You wanna see it? But you can't touch it. Wanna see? What is that? Okay, that's not even human water in there, ferret. That's like actual paint water. Okay, bye cuties.